Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. And that is your God-given rights, those necessary elements for your life here on earth, each of you as individuals. You ask yourselves, why am I constantly coming to you, speaking to you as often as I do about the things that I do? And I'm often talking about God. And it's because of that, ladies and gentlemen, that I say to you that I am ashamed that the Antichrist has achieved so much. And I call myself a child of God, the most powerful of power that lives inside of me. And everything that it appears to exist that has a negative or a positive, it appears that the negative is that which rises to the top. And as a child of God, I'm convinced beyond a shadow of doubt that it is my responsibility to make sure that stuff like this doesn't happen. When I say my responsibility, I'm not speaking of me as an individual. I'm speaking as a part of a team, people who call themselves children of God, whether under the banner of a Christian, a Catholic, a Muslim, or whatever sign you might be under, that represents a God that is a God of love for every individual on the face of the earth. Now, I understand that there are gods out there that are only concerned about special interest. There are gods out there that's only concerned about specific groups. But that is not the God for which I stand. I stand for a God that is concerned about every human being on the face of the earth. That being the case, I know that there are very few of us who do. Just enough that have held us from the abyss. But the information today is that that group, that greedy group, the one who talks about a new world order, the one who has plans that are being posted all over the world, indicating the billions that must be put to death to acquire the aims that they have. And still I stand before you, ladies and gentlemen. I've heard them say that the atrocities that occurred at the World Trade Center September 11, 2001 was an opportunity for the world to open up its doors and invite such a rule in. And they have been saying every year since that this year is the year in which they will do that. But I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of God, the greatest opportunity has now arrived, and we as a people of God can take advantage of it by doing what truth is all about, by living love, by the courage of God. What I'm specifically saying, ladies and gentlemen, there's an election coming up, a presidential election. Now, we have been misled to think that God could sit on the side of a Republican, and that same God could sit on the side of a Democrat, and the Democrats and Republicans can't stand each other. They have no programs that work for each other, and God is there in the midst of this against himself is a representation of a misunderstanding of God. But yet I believe in your hearts that you desire God. So I call all of you who are in these organizations to come out from amongst them. They do not represent God, so you come out from amongst them. I'm calling on all of those who you call yourselves children of God, to go to the polls in November and vote by writing in God. And what does this God represent? This God represents, number one, a career of choice, a job for everybody who wants to work, who needs to work, and must work. Not just in a job, but a job of choice. And in that Creator has prepared that these things that are coming amongst us, like food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, will never be denied to any one of us. Anybody who stands forward for God, who speaks for us, must make sure that these things are guaranteed, and we, the power, will assure it to one another. What I'm basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, we do not need a Republican or a Democrat standing before us promising what they're going to do for us. We know what we want done, and anybody who's in that office is going to do what we want done, not what they want done. We don't need the council. We don't need these foreign organizations, trilateral commission, dictating about our concerns when they don't have our hearts and mind. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I take this stand to say to you that it doesn't matter if I'm here or not, or if anybody who stands up speaking as I'm speaking or not. The message is one that you can identify. And as long as you can identify, it is not known unless you take the stand. And when you take the stand, this is undefeatable, because this truly is of God. Can you imagine any other love that's greater than a love that would require that every human being has a shelter of their own choosing? But not only that, has provided the materials for that to happen. Not only that, has designed that the individual labor force or whatever comes out of that is made available, has done all of that. And why would anyone take away from that and leave some homeless? No one can. And it's over now, because that's the way of God. When you go to the polls, write in God for the next president. And Republican or Democrat might get in that office. But we, the people of God, will have spoken. And they know that these are the things that they must do. This is the world order of love. Eddie Marcus, I hope, my friends, that means something that you can get involved in. Until next time, bye-bye.